It all started with a single tear. Jim Jones, the usually composed and confident rapper, couldn't hold it together during a surprise Instagram Live, and within minutes, fans were flooding the comments with confusion, concern, and wild speculation. His voice cracked. His eyes welled up. "I can't believe this, after everything," he muttered, before abruptly ending the stream. The internet exploded. What could Chrissy have possibly done to break him like that? But just when the world thought it had seen the peak of this emotional roller coaster, a private phone call surfaced. One that Chrissy never meant for the world to hear. One that changed everything. This wasn't just a call, it was a confession, a plea, a bombshell revelation that sent fans reeling and left the entire Jones family in emotional chaos. Leaked by an anonymous source claiming to be tired of the lies, the audio has now gone viral, and fans are furious. Was Chrissy hiding something all along? Was Jim's breakdown more than just heartbreak? Was it betrayal? Stay tuned, because what you're about to hear is messier, deeper, and far more shocking than anyone expected. And trust us, this is just the beginning. Jim Jones hadn't spoken publicly in over 24 hours since his emotional Instagram Live. Fans were refreshing his page, waiting, hoping he'd say something, anything, to explain the sudden breakdown. It wasn't like Jim to wear his heart on his sleeve in front of millions. But this time, the pain was too raw to hide. His silence screamed louder than words ever could. Behind the scenes, friends close to the couple said Jim had locked himself in his studio, refusing to take calls from anyone except his mother and his manager. One friend who visited described the place as dark, cold, and filled with energy that didn't feel like Jim. Apparently, all he did was play one audio message over and over again. No one knew what was on it, until now. The leak dropped on a Tuesday morning. It came from an anonymous account with 0 followers, 0 posts, and one video titled simply "Her Call." The voice in the recording was unmistakably Chrissy's. It started quietly, with her sobbing into the phone. "I didn't want to hurt him, but I didn't know how to stop it. It just kept going, that was all it took." Within an hour, the video had over 200,000 views, with fans dissecting every second, slowing down her words, analyzing background noise, even comparing timestamps with Jim's breakdown. It wasn't just a call. It was a revelation. The audio continued, Chrissy confessing to someone, whose voice wasn't heard, about a long-kept secret. She mentioned missed calls, deleted texts, a man she should have let go of a long time ago, and most damning of all, the phrase that echoed across the internet like a thunderclap: "It was never supposed to be emotional." But it was. And "I think I loved him." Fans were stunned. The immediate assumption was that she was talking about Cameron. Their history had always been surrounded by rumors, whispers, and tension. But this call? This wasn't rumor. This was Chrissy's own voice. By midday, the leak had been uploaded to dozens of gossip channels, with edited versions titled "Chrissy Caught Cheating," "Jim Betrayed," and "The Secret Affair Exposed." One fan commented, "This call ruined my whole day. I loved them together. I feel like I got cheated on too." Another wrote, "Jim gave her his whole heart and she gave him this." Meanwhile, Chrissy had not yet responded. No Instagram stories, no tweets, no comments. The silence on her end was deafening. But sources close to her claimed she was blindsided by the leak. One insider claimed Chrissy believed the call had only been heard by someone she trusted, and she was devastated it got out. "She's been crying nonstop," the source said. "She didn't mean for this to be public. She didn't even think Jim would ever hear it. But he had." And what came next, nobody was prepared for. According to someone in Jim's camp, he had confronted Chrissy hours before the live stream. Apparently, he received the audio from a mutual acquaintance, someone neither he nor Chrissy expected to be involved. The confrontation was explosive, with shouting, crying, and even a broken lamp involved. One witness said they'd never seen Jim that angry before. Not even during his past beefs. This wasn't about music. This was personal. This was betrayal. The recording had confirmed his worst fear. It wasn't just the emotional cheating, it was the secrecy, the months of feeling something was off but being told he was just paranoid. The trust was broken. And when Jim went live, that was him at his lowest. What fans didn't know was that the call they heard was only part one. There was a second half. And it hadn't leaked yet. Late that night, another anonymous account posted a cryptic message on a fan forum. "You think that's the whole call? Wait for part 2. She says his name." That message lit a match on an already blazing fire. The fan base went wild. Twitter threads were filled with theories. Did she mean Cameron? Was it someone else? A manager? A bodyguard? And why hadn't Jim responded yet? Suddenly, hashtags like #ChrissySleek, #JusticeForJim, and #DropTheSecond were trending. People weren't just watching the drama unfold, they were participating in it. Influencers were reacting live. Podcast hosts were dissecting every syllable. And amidst all the chaos, one question kept surfacing over and over again: how long had this been going on? While Chrissy stayed silent, Jim's team issued a brief statement that only fueled more speculation. It read, "Sometimes the people you trust most are the ones who hold the sharpest knives. Respect our privacy while we navigate this storm." Fans were torn. Some supported Jim completely, calling him a man in pain who never deserved this. Others defended Chrissy, saying emotional cheating is complicated, and everyone makes mistakes, but the loudest voices were those begging for answers. That night, a grainy photo surfaced online. It appeared to show Chrissy, wearing a hoodie and sunglasses, entering a luxury apartment building in Brooklyn. The caption read, "Guess who she's visiting?" Rumors exploded. Was she meeting Cameron? A lawyer? Someone new? The photo only made things worse. As the clock struck midnight, Jim posted a story. It was a black screen with one sentence: "I heard the rest, that was it." No voice. No explanation. Just those 4 words. But for fans, it said everything. The second half of the call was real. And Jim had it. What did she say in part 2? Who was the man she couldn't let go of? And why did Jim, despite hearing everything, still look so broken? Part 2 would reveal it all. The name. The emotions. And the final fracture that left fans questioning if this relationship could ever be repaired again. And just as the internet held its breath, waiting for the other shoe to drop, a familiar voice came forward with a message of his own. And that's where it really starts to get messy. The familiar voice that broke the silence wasn't Chrissy's. It wasn't Jim's either. It was deeper, smoother, and carried that unmistakable confidence only one person in this saga could pull off. It was Cameron. He didn't post a video. He didn't do a live. Instead, Cameron uploaded a 15-second audio clip on his story, no caption, no context, just his voice, saying calmly, "Y'all wanna know the truth? You really sure about that?" It was cryptic, vague, but just enough to send the entire internet spiraling. Fans immediately started speculating. Was Cameron confirming the affair? Was he denying it? Or was he teasing that he had his own receipts to drop? Jim Jones didn't respond. Not yet. But 20 minutes later, an even bigger bombshell dropped. The second half of Chrissy's call, yes, the part she thought no one would ever hear, was leaked. This time, the audio was louder, clearer, and far more emotional. Chrissy's voice trembled as she said, "I didn't mean for it to go that far. I told Cam to back off, but he said he still had feelings. And honestly, part of me wanted to hear it. That was it." The name. Cam. Fans exploded. Timelines flooded with disbelief. Comments ranged from "I knew it" to "This is insane, how is this real?" Even those who defended Chrissy in part 1 now felt betrayed. It wasn't just emotional confusion anymore. It was connection. It was intentional. And it had a name. But the twist wasn't over. In the final seconds of the leaked call, Chrissy said something even more chilling. After admitting to rekindled feelings, she whispered, "And I think Jim knows. He always knew. He just didn't want to believe it." With that one sentence, the narrative flipped again. Was Jim's silence not shock, but confirmation? Had he suspected this long before the leak? Had he stayed quiet to protect Chrissy, or himself? Across social media, fans were no longer asking what happened. They were now asking how long it had been happening, and how much Jim had been hiding. But then came a twist no one saw coming. A woman named Denise, claiming to be Chrissy's former assistant, did a tell-all podcast interview just hours after the second leak. And what she shared pushed the internet into full meltdown mode. Denise said she worked for Chrissy for almost a year and had seen things that made her uncomfortable but weren't her business, until now. She revealed that back in January, Chrissy would often disappear for hours claiming to be at self-care appointments, but her calendar didn't match. On at least 3 occasions, Denise said she saw Cameron's name on incoming calls and once caught Chrissy ending a FaceTime with him in tears. "I didn't want to assume," Denise explained in the interview. "But when she said, 'Don't tell Jim, he'll blow everything up,' I knew something was going on." The interviewer pushed further, asking if Chrissy had ever admitted anything to her directly. Denise paused. Then said quietly, "One night, after too much wine," she said, "I love Jim, but Cam knew me before all this. He knows the version of me I lost." That sentence hit fans hard. It wasn't just scandal anymore. It was emotion, nostalgia, deep history. And suddenly, it wasn't so simple to pick sides. Some fans still stood firmly with Jim, calling him a victim of years of gaslighting and emotional betrayal. Others began to understand Chrissy's pain, saying maybe she had felt neglected, invisible, or stuck in a relationship that had long lost its passion. But Cameron? He didn't wait long to reclaim the spotlight. The next morning, Cam dropped a track teaser on his story with the title blurred out and a fire emoji. The beat played for only a few seconds, but the lyrics? Unmistakable. I ain't text your girl, she text me. Told me she missed the old me, stress-free. That was all it took. Instantly, fans assumed the worst. Cam had not only been involved, he was now capitalizing on it. But the story wasn't done unraveling. While fans argued in comments and split into camps, hashtag Team Jim, hashtag Team Chrissy, and even a few hashtag Team Cam, the family behind the scenes was falling apart. A close cousin of Jim posted and then quickly deleted a post that read, "We told you she was trouble. It's too late now. Protect your peace, cousin." People screenshotted it before it vanished and turned it into another clue. Was the family never supportive of Chrissy? Did they know something Jim didn't? Or worse, did they know all along and stay silent? In the meantime, Chrissy finally broke her silence. Sort of. She didn't post a video. She didn't issue a statement. Instead, she uploaded a single photo of a sunset with the caption, "Sometimes things have to fall apart to rebuild something real." No tags. No names. But fans weren't buying the calm energy. They filled the comments with questions. What does this even mean? Are you admitting it? Say something real for once. The backlash was immediate, fierce, and loud. And while the world waited for Jim's next move, he remained quiet. Until a third video surfaced. This one wasn't a leak. It wasn't planned. It was a bystander's phone footage from a private rooftop lounge in Manhattan. Jim was sitting at a table with two men and a woman, none of whom were Chrissy. His face looked tired, aged even. He wasn't smiling. But he wasn't broken either. In the video, the woman leaned over and touched Jim's arm. Fans zoomed in, slowed it down, enhanced it, trying to see who she was. One user claimed it was an ex, another said it was his publicist. Someone else swore it was just a friend. But one thing was clear, Jim was out. Not hiding. Not mourning. Not begging. And that alone sparked a new wave of theories. Was he done? Was it over? When part 2 of the call dropped, everyone expected chaos. They expected heartbreak. But what they didn't expect was what happened next. Because as Jim walked out of that rooftop lounge, one word escaped his lips, enough. And just like that, the game changed again. The word echoed louder than the chaos itself. Enough. It wasn't screamed. It wasn't whispered. It was just spoken. But the way Jim said it, steady, final, was enough to send shockwaves through his inner circle. For someone like Jim, who built his career on loyalty and keeping things in the family, saying enough didn't just mean he was walking away from the scandal. It meant he was walking away from everything tied to it. According to a source close to the situation, that single word marked a shift in Jim's mindset. The source said, that wasn't just about Chrissy. It was about Cam, about the lies, about people playing with his name for clout. He's done protecting people who don't protect him. But behind the scenes, things were far from over. That very night, Chrissy showed up at Jim's apartment building. Paparazzi caught her outside wearing all black, face down, with a visibly swollen face, likely from crying. When asked by a reporter if she had any comment, she didn't say a word. She just walked straight in. What happened inside was reportedly one of the most intense confrontations the couple had ever had. Neighbors later claimed they heard shouting that went on for nearly 30 minutes. One even said they heard glass shatter, followed by silence. A friend of Jim's later revealed to a podcast that he was there when Chrissy arrived. He claimed the first thing Jim said when he opened the door was, "What are you doing here?" Not in anger, but exhaustion. Chrissy allegedly replied, "We need to talk, just you and me." Jim nodded, let her in, and they sat across from each other in complete silence for several minutes. Then, according to the friend, Jim finally broke the silence. "How long?" he asked. Chrissy hesitated. "It wasn't like that. I didn't plan it, but it happened," Jim interrupted. "Just tell me. How long?" Chrissy looked away. "A few months. Maybe longer." "It was never about love, Jim. It was confusion. It was closure." Jim reportedly laughed. Not out of humor, but disbelief. "Closure," he said. "You blew up everything we built for closure." The room went silent again. Chrissy then began to cry, saying she felt neglected, like Jim was physically there but emotionally gone, for the past year. She claimed she had tried to reconnect with him, but he was always in the studio, on the road, or focused on business. "I needed to feel something again," she said. Jim, now standing, replied, "So you ran back to the one person who knew exactly how to destroy me?" That line reportedly left Chrissy speechless. But it wasn't just words exchanged that night. Jim then pulled out his phone and played something for her. It wasn't the leaked call, it was a voice memo. One that hadn't gone public yet. In it, Cameron's voice was clear. "I didn't mean to hurt Jim. But I ain't gonna lie, when she hit me up that first time, I should have said no, I didn't. It's on me too." Chrissy froze. "Where did you get that?" Jim said quietly, "He sent it to me yesterday." Fans later speculated online that Cam, after the second leak and mounting public backlash, tried to do damage control by privately apologizing to Jim, perhaps even offering to stay silent in return for peace. But if that was his plan, it had already failed. Jim told Chrissy, "You both lied. And now you both get to live with it." Chrissy left the apartment in tears, paparazzi still outside snapping photos as she covered her face. The next day, she posted a quote to her story that read, "You can love someone deeply and still be the one who hurts them the most." Meanwhile, Jim remained offline. No posts. No appearances. Just silence. But the world around him kept spinning. Cameron, perhaps sensing the tide turning against him, posted a selfie with the caption, "Not all love lasts. But real recognize real." The comment section was brutal. Fans accused him of betrayal, of breaking guy code, of turning a real-life family into entertainment. He deleted the post within an hour. But the damage was done. Across social media, the energy had shifted. What once felt like juicy drama now felt tragic. People weren't just picking sides, they were mourning a relationship they grew up watching. Fans started posting old clips of Chrissy and Jim from their early reality show days. Clips where he surprised her with flowers. Where she cried after he proposed. Where they laughed, danced, and fought like real people. One viral tweet read, "We watched them build everything together. Now it's crumbling. This isn't tea, it's heartbreak." And as if things couldn't get more emotional, Jim's mother, affectionately known as Mama Jones, entered the chat. In a raw, teary video posted from her kitchen, she addressed the situation without naming names. "My son is hurting," she said. "And I've watched him give his heart to people who didn't know how to hold it. I ain't here to bash nobody. But trust me when I say, what's done in the dark always comes to light." Fans flooded her comment section with support, many calling her the realest one left in all this. Others asked her to protect Jim at all costs. And just when it felt like things were settling into sadness, another twist hit. A new voice memo leaked. This time, it wasn't from Chrissy. And it wasn't from Cameron either. It was from a woman claiming to be someone from Cameron's past, someone who said she had been watching everything unfold and couldn't stay silent anymore. The message was short, but enough to reignite the fire. "If only y'all knew the whole truth. Cam wasn't the only one Chrissy was calling. And Jim? He's not as innocent as he seems." The message ended there. Fans were once again thrown into a storm of questions. Who was this new woman? Was it someone Cam had dated? And what did she mean by Jim not being innocent? As these new theories swirled, people began to ask a terrifying question: had everyone in this triangle been hiding something? The story had started with a single tear. But now, it was an avalanche. And just when people thought they couldn't handle another plot twist, a photo surfaced that would shake everything again. Chrissy with someone new. The photo was blurry, as most viral photos are. Taken through a tinted window by someone sitting in a parked car, the image showed Chrissy sitting across from a man in a cafe. The man wasn't Cameron. And he definitely wasn't Jim. The caption that accompanied the leaked photo read simply, "Guess she ain't wasting time." The internet exploded all over again. People zoomed in, reversed the image, used AI to enhance the grainy pixels, desperate to confirm the identity of the mystery man. Within an hour, internet sleuths claimed it was none other than Roberto "Rico" Melton, an executive producer who had worked with Chrissy on a project years ago, and someone who had always been rumored to have more than just a working relationship with her. No one could confirm it. But the body language in the photo said enough. Chrissy wasn't crying. She wasn't hiding. She looked relaxed. Maybe even relieved. One fan tweeted, "This woman just destroyed a man's spirit and is already grabbing lattes with a new dude. Unbelievable." Others defended her, arguing, maybe she's trying to heal. Maybe that's a business meeting. Stop jumping to conclusions. But the damage was done. This wasn't just about Jim anymore. This wasn't just about Cam. This was about trust unraveling on every level. Because shortly after the photo leaked, Cameron posted a cryptic quote to his story, "Funny how the one who cried wolf was feeding the whole forest," followed by a single snake emoji. Fans immediately linked the post to the photo of Chrissy and Rico. Rumors swirled that even Cam hadn't known about her connection with Rico, and felt played himself. If that was true, then this story had gone from triangle to square. And Jim? He still hadn't said a word. But then, for the first time in days, he posted to his story. It was just a video clip, old footage from a concert. Jim was on stage, mid-performance, the crowd chanting his name, and over it, the words, "Some people love the version of you they helped build. Not the real you." It was subtle, poetic, heartbreaking. But the biggest shock came just hours later, when TMZ reported that Jim had canceled 2 scheduled public appearances and was unreachable, even by his own management team. He'd gone completely off the grid. No calls. No messages. No sightings. Just silence. Back in New York, Chrissy's silence broke with a single Instagram live. No filter. No makeup. Just her, sitting in a dimly lit room, tears in her eyes. "I didn't come on here to explain everything," she began. "Because some things are too messy to clean up with a post or a comment. But I just need to say something." Her voice cracked. "I never meant to hurt anyone. Not Jim. Not Cam. Not anyone watching this. I've made mistakes, and I've owned them in private. But now it's all out here, and I can't control the way people see me anymore. All I can say is, I'm sorry." Fans filled the comments in real time. Some thanked her for finally speaking. Others called it too little, too late. But the most repeated message? "Where is Jim?" Chrissy ended the live after just 8 minutes. No answers. No real explanation. Just more questions. The next morning, a new leak surfaced, but this one didn't come from Chrissy, Cam, or Jim. It came from a voicemail allegedly sent by Rico to Chrissy.in. It. Rico's voice said, "You don't owe them anything, Chris. Let them talk. Let them spin stories. You and I both know what this really is. Don't let them guilt you into crawling back to something that broke you before you ever left it." Fans were stunned. Was this confirmation of something deeper between Chrissy and Rico? Was this a new relationship, or something that had been going on in the shadows this whole time? The voicemail sparked another wave of theories. Some believed Chrissy and Rico had reconnected only after the fallout with Jim. Others claimed this proved the entire scandal had layers no one even suspected. One bold theory even suggested that Chrissy and Rico were preparing to launch a new show and had used the drama to generate buzz. The theories were wild. The emotions even wilder. And still, Jim Jones was nowhere to be found. Until a fan spotted him. Not in New York. Not in Atlanta. But in Barbados. A blurry paparazzi shot captured Jim walking along a beach at sunset, headphones in, alone. The caption read, "He really said peace out to the entire internet." That photo went viral in minutes. Fans were torn. Some celebrated his escape, saying, "Good for him. He deserves peace." Others questioned, is this him healing or hiding? But then something unexpected happened. A letter posted to Jim's Instagram as a simple black and white photo of a handwritten page. It read, "I never thought I'd live through this kind of heartbreak. Not because someone cheated. Not because someone lied. But because everything we built, every smile, every tear, every sacrifice, meant something to me. And now it feels like it was all one-sided." He continued, "I'm not gonna pretend I'm okay. But I will promise you this. I'm not broken. I'm bent. And bent things can still stand." The post had over 1 million likes in an hour. Celebrities commented. Fans cried. And finally, it felt like Jim had taken back control of his story. Chrissy didn't respond. Cam didn't respond. But the world watched in silence. Because now, it wasn't about who said what, or who leaked what. It was about healing. Or maybe, it was about watching someone find strength in the wreckage. And just as fans began to feel a sense of closure, a familiar face stepped into the spotlight, one who hadn't spoken yet. Jim's son. His name was Joseph, but fans knew him better by his nickname, Lil Capo. Quiet, rarely in the spotlight, and always respectful of his father's privacy, Joseph had never inserted himself into drama. Until now. In a surprising turn, Joseph went live on his private account, which fans quickly screen recorded and reposted everywhere. He didn't yell. He didn't accuse. He just spoke. And that alone made the internet stop and listen. "I'm not here to air family business," he began, eyes tired, voice heavy. "But I'm also not gonna sit back while people keep asking where my dad is, or acting like they know him." He paused, took a deep breath. "I saw what it did to him. The call. The leak. The silence. All of it. And let me tell you, y'all didn't see half of what he felt. Because he's the kind of man who keeps his pain locked in a vault. Even from me." Fans flooded the comments, stunned by the honesty. Joseph continued, "I'm not saying he's perfect. No one is. But I watched him give everything to someone who wasn't giving the same back. And now the whole world is dissecting our pain like it's a TV show." He then looked directly into the camera, "To the people who leaked those calls, I hope the likes and views were worth it. Because what you destroyed wasn't just a relationship. It was a man's peace. It was our family." The live ended shortly after, but its impact was immediate. Thousands of comments poured in, many applauding Joseph for his composure and strength. Others apologized, admitting they'd treated the whole situation like entertainment instead of the emotional mess it truly was. Chrissy did not respond. But behind the scenes, a conversation was reportedly happening. Not between Chrissy and Jim, but between Chrissy and Joseph. According to a close source, Chrissy had reached out after the live to ask if she could speak to him privately. The source said, she told Joseph she never meant to hurt him or his father, and that she still saw him as family, no matter what. Joseph allegedly replied, "Family doesn't disappear when the cameras are off." Their meeting reportedly lasted less than 15 minutes. It was calm, quiet, and emotional. No yelling. No accusations. Just closure. But when Joseph left, he reportedly said, "I think that's the last time I'll see her." Meanwhile, Jim was still in Barbados. Fans tracked his playlist on Spotify, noting songs like "Unbreak My Heart," "Rescue Me," and "Cold World" being added. The speculation returned: was he healing, or was he spiraling? But 2 days later, he returned to New York. Paparazzi caught him walking through JFK alone, in all black, no security, no entourage. He didn't answer questions. He didn't smile. But when asked, "Do you forgive her?" he looked up briefly and said, "I'm working on it." Those 3 words sent shockwaves through the gossip world. Was he open to reconciliation? Was there a second chance on the horizon? The answer came that weekend. Jim was spotted attending his mother's birthday dinner with Joseph and a few close friends. Chrissy was not present. When a fan asked Mama Jones on Instagram whether Chrissy had been invited, she replied simply, "Only real ones were welcome." Ouch. But Chrissy had other plans. That same night, she posted a long caption alongside a black and white photo of her and Jim from their early years. In it, she wrote, "We weren't perfect. But it was real. And whatever people think they know, they don't know our story. Only we do." She ended the post with, "I'll always love you, even if it's from a distance." Fans were divided again. Some said she was still playing the victim. Others saw it as her way of saying goodbye. But the final word? It didn't come from Jim. It came from Joseph. He posted a picture of himself and his dad, side by side, both wearing sunglasses, with a simple caption, "We move forward," and just like that, the saga seemed to be over. But people were still left with questions. What happens now? Is there truly no hope for Jim and Chrissy? Will Cameron ever apologize publicly? What about the voicemail from Rico, and the woman who claimed Jim wasn't so innocent either? Was that all swept under the rug? The internet may never get every answer. But one thing was clear: this wasn't just celebrity gossip. This was a family in pieces, trying to put themselves back together. Fans who had followed the couple for over a decade were heartbroken. They remembered the proposals, the reality shows, the fights and makeups. And now they watched it all dissolve in real time. But for Jim, it wasn't about performance anymore. It was about peace. In one final post before deleting all comments on his page, he wrote, "If you've ever loved someone who broke you, then you know. No one walks away the same. But sometimes, walking away is the only way to save what's left of you." That post stayed pinned to the top of his profile. Chrissy, meanwhile, turned off comments and hasn't been seen publicly since. Cameron went silent again. No new music. No interviews. Just silence. And the fans, they're still watching. Still waiting. Still wondering if the story is really over. Or if the next chapter is already being written behind the scenes. Because in the world of love, loyalty, and fame, there's always more to the story. And there you have it. A relationship that once felt unbreakable, now shattered under the weight of secrets, betrayal, and a spotlight that never turns off. Jim Jones gave his all, his heart, his loyalty, his time, and for a moment, it looked like it all came crumbling down with a single leaked call. But as the dust settles, one truth remains stronger than any rumor or headline: this wasn't just about love lost. It was about finding peace in the ruins. Chrissy's silence now speaks louder than any apology. Cameron's cryptic words hang in the air, unanswered. And Jim? He walks forward, not whole, but not defeated either. Just changed. Maybe stronger. Maybe wiser. The fans are still picking sides. The internet is still buzzing. And deep down, we're all still wondering, will there be redemption? Will there be revenge? Or is this simply the end of an era we all thought would last forever? But what do you think? Was Chrissy truly sorry, or just sorry she got caught? Did Cameron cross the line, or was he dragged into something deeper? And most importantly, do you believe Jim can ever trust again? We want to hear from you. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Are you Team Jim, Team Chrissy, or just Team Truth? Don't forget to like this video if you're still shook by everything that went down, and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into the drama you won't find anywhere else. We've got the leaks, the receipts, and the tea hotter than ever. Turn on notifications, because trust us, this story isn't over. You've just watched the full breakdown of Chrissy's private call leak after Jim's breakdown, and the internet may never recover. Until next time, stay watching, stay questioning, and stay messy.